We often scroll through the internet and see what appears to be perfect lives and happy people. This can leave us feeling like we're not good enough or we're not doing enough, which adds just an extra layer of pressure. In reality, we're all more like each other than what we may realize. We all have the same emotions, we all struggle, and not one of us is perfect. Suicide doesn't have just one look. It can look like you, it can look like me, like a friend, like a family member, anyone. The most important thing that I can share with you right now is that you are not alone.
A year and a month ago, I had lost everything. Every last penny I had. I couldn't even pay rent. I didn't know how to feed my kids. There had been times when I didn't have money to buy my 3 children presents for Christmas. And it all came to a head last February when I had been to a casino and lost every last penny I had. And I went home, I took 60 Percocet. I texted some of the closest people in my life goodbye, including my kids, and I laid down to die. You are not alone. You are so not alone.
The first time I attempted suicide was in high school. And had my mother not interrupted me, I probably would have been successful. You're not alone.
My son Arthur was 14 and 8 months when he committed suicide because he was bullied.
6 years ago, I was raped by a friend of mine. Eventually, I developed symptoms of anxiety, depression, and PTSD that culminated in wanting to kill myself. I want you to know that you're not alone.
By the time I was 12 years old, I didn't fit in, I had no friends, and I snapped, and I tried to drown myself. 3 years after that, I attempted 6 more times, but things got better, and they will get better. You are not alone.
My first suicidal thought was when I was 7 years old. My parents had separated and would soon be divorced, and I was depressed. My first suicide attempt was a week after my 16th birthday. That attempt was the first of 9 over the course of 3 years. I felt very alone, but I didn't know that I wasn't alone.
Being born with a disease and needing medication that costs over $250,000 a year put my family into poverty to get me the medicine I needed to survive. Growing up, I lived in a house full of love, but was plagued with the thoughts that if I wouldn't have been born, my family would have been better off. When I was about 16, I didn't really ever think about killing myself, but I didn't care if I died. Most of my life I felt alone and isolated, but I want you to know you're not alone.
After losing my father 2 weeks before my 13th birthday, for over a decade, I had suffered from massive anxiety. My panic attacks were so bad, at one point, I actually went into a full-blown seizure. You are not alone.
Being a single parent of a child who I adopted as a single parent and dealing with health struggles of my own makes me not feel so great all the time. I have a type of blood cancer called PV, or polycythemia vera. Currently there's not a cure. I can sleep for 7, 8, 10 hours and wake up exhausted. And being on constant watch and constantly fearful that something's going to happen to my son or that he's going to do something to himself means that I'm not sleeping at night that well. I noticed that he was different when he was about 6 months old. He didn't like other people, so we knew something was a little different all the way back then. I noticed that he started dropping weight quickly. I just felt that something was wrong. So I got him in right away, went into Pierce County Mental Health and got him seen right away. And he was diagnosed then at 12 with anorexia. He had questioned one of his friends, what if I wasn't here anymore? It seems like it would be easier just to end it all. And that's when he just kept saying things over and over, like people would be happier if I weren't here. I'm a burden to people. He seemed to be obsessed with being a burden to other people. When I realized how close he was to, within 2 days, to hanging himself, it's fear, I can't describe what it feels like. He writes rap, and unfortunately most of what he's written so far is pretty dark. But if rap is what he wants to pursue, and he's happy pursuing it, then that's what I want for him. I want him to be happy. The hospital, they wanted to release him because the insurance wouldn't pay anymore. And so on that 12th day, that extension was over. Well, once we got back in the car, he did say the words, "Do you still love me? Are you mad at me?" I took his hand and I told him there's nothing you could ever do that would change the way that I feel about you and that would change the amount of love that I have for you. Nothing. You are so much stronger. Everybody is telling me all the time in front of you how strong I am, and I want you to know that you are so much stronger than I am.
Hi, is this Rebecca?
This is Andy.
Yes. I really appreciate you taking the time to fill me in. And how is he doing? You know, what's gone on since we last spoke with you?
Well, at the beginning of the year, there was still a lot of struggle. He ended up back in the hospital 2 more times. While he was there, he just became resigned. He said, if being in a treatment center would help me, then fine. I just don't want to feel like this anymore. He started taking a poetry class, and he's been writing a lot. He has almost a full album's worth of songs.
So cool. So he's still doing that.
Passion, yeah.
Yeah. I would love just to come and say hi to you. I haven't seen you for a while, give you a hug. And I'd love to share a few things with Ben, if that would be okay.
Yeah, I think it would be good if you met him.
Sometimes life can make us feel like we're not needed, but we all have a purpose. Discovering this can be a very healing experience. Maybe not enough, but it can be a step in the right direction for Ben. We've been working on something very special for him, and it's time to reignite this. I came all the way out here to tell you something that I personally think is really important, and that is, you're not alone. The fact that you have all these talents and everything you've been through, you give me encouragement. This is my first time meeting you, but I've gotten to know you from a distance through your mom. She said that you really love music. I don't know how you'd feel about this, but I happen to have a friend that's a pretty big deal. He used to go by the name of Kid Sensation. He was part of Grammy Award winner Sir Mix-a-Lot's group. He has a 13-year-old son. His name's Kendi Fresh, and Kendi's a 13-year-old rapper. And they've agreed to work with you this summer and take some of the music that you've already written and get your music out there. Does that sound good? Yeah? Yeah, yeah? Don't smile, Ben. This is my friend Ben. He's a little big deal. I know it's gonna be hard to wait, but.
I see a familiar face. Hey man, nice to meet you, man. What's going on, bud?
Hi, Kim.
I've done a little bit of being where you're at and just kind of trying to sort my way through. Okay, man, I've got some talent, I've got some stuff I'm trying to put together, and you know, where do I go and what do I do? And if we can loan any expertise to that, man, to bring out what you're trying to do, man, we'd be excited.
You can help give him some advice and lead him in that direction because he loves music and he's really good at it. I'm leaving you in good hands, I promise you that. With Rebecca being a single mom and fighting cancer, we wanted to spread some kindness her way as well. We partner with Clean for a Change, who will be cleaning their home once a month for the next year so she can focus more on their healing. The mystery in staying alive can sometimes be finding what to live for. Ben lives for music. It's in him. He just needs some help and direction. It's time to take Ben to the next level. Clatter and Din, a 20-plus year established recording studio in downtown Seattle, has offered to let us use their facility for Ben's project. We're about to introduce him to Chris Pack, a well-known award-winning hip-hop producer-engineer who will be working directly with him. This will be a life-changing opportunity for Ben. There's that smile, there's that Ben smile. He smiles, I'm like, oh, there's the dimples. The Suicide Prevention Lifeline is available for you 24/7. It's confidential and is free at 1-800-273-8255. We all play an important role in suicide prevention, and I'm not an expert in this topic, but what I can tell you is that it's important for us to continue to learn. You can visit their website for more information at suicidepreventionlifeline.org. Life is not easy for any of us, even if it appears to be. Suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. There is help, and you're not alone. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. And remember, be kind.